Let's continue reading the Didache. I made it to chapter 3. I read it a little bit in the last video. We can start all over. My child, flee from every evil thing and from every likeness of it. Be not prone to anger, for anger leads to murder. Be neither jealous nor quarrelsome nor of hot temper, for out of all these murders are engendered. Okay, so this is where I stopped. My child, be not a lustful one, for lust leads to fornication. Be neither a filthy talker nor of lofty eye, for out of all these adulteries are engendered. Be not a lustful one. I think this includes like deriving kind of enjoyment and joy out of like sexual things, like jokes even. It doesn't have to be anything that is like directly linked to fornication, but like just thinking about the opposite gender in that sense, right? Out of all these adulteries are engendered. Lust leads to fornication. Like just putting your mind in that space, I think, has like a low-key influence on you, and then that leads to temptation. But this is the thing that I wanted to talk about a lot. Be neither an enchanter, nor an astrologer, nor a purifier, nor be willing to look at these things, for out of all this idolatry is engendered. You remember in the 80s when there was this satanic panic about Dungeons and Dragons, right? There are spells in it, like enlarged person, or there are like enchantments and stuff like that. And I wondered, like, what's the point of those people, losing their mind about the game? And then it like occurred to me, they are the ones who cast those spells in reality. Like enlarged person. In the video game, it gives them strength. But if you think about what would that spell look like in the world today, and it's basically like telling legends and myths and exaggerating on behalf of somebody. So you're telling lies about them that are like positive, that make them seem greater. This is my husband and he's the best man I could ever dream of and he's capable of anything. You tell that to somebody, they go, I don't know, do business deals, and turns out it's actually not true. So what you did was you kind of like enchanted them, right? And isn't this just something that like all the married couples do on behalf of their partners a lot? Like you talk them up. There's also make somebody smaller, which is, you deprive them of strength. And that's when you talk somebody down. These are kind of spells, if you understand. And I just thought about it, like the people who were screaming about a board game, card game, video games, Dungeons and Dragons being, satanic, they're the ones who actually practiced. If you were to point to somebody in the world, those would be the ones you could say of, they practiced some of those sins, some of those spells. And that's forbidden in scripture. I just thought it was so interesting when I started to think like that. And it's true also. We like inflate each other's egos and then hope they do the same to us. They cast the same spell on us. I don't know. It's just an interesting thing to think about. Like there would be real world equivalents to a lot of those video game spells that exist in the universe of Dungeons and Dragons, if you think about it. And they're forbidden in scripture. If you're like thinking about things, wisely enough, cleverly enough, and being honest, I bet you could draw a lot of parallels. Enlarged person, diminished person, enchantments. This is just what I thought of. Like in that video game, you can enchant items and give them like special significance, right? Special significance, and that's kind of what people do with like, oh, this has sentimental value to me. This is so valuable, right? Or you can think of some item by a celebrity that maybe they signed to be like an enchanted item. Like the item itself is probably like a ball or something, a baseball or whatever, but because it has somebody wrote something, they enchanted it. The Bible forbids that. Oh man, it is just something to think about, isn't it? I would never take part in stuff like that. Some people do though. My child, be not a liar, since a lie leads to theft. Be neither money-loving nor vainglorious, for out of all these thefts are engendered. That's interesting. A lie leads to theft. Lying leads to theft. If you think about an enchanted item, you know, like a baseball with somebody's name on it, maybe there is something stolen, like a kind of stolen valor maybe. Like somebody might prefer that baseball over, you know, the Purple Heart or whatever they give to soldiers who fight for their country and get injured. Is it stolen valor then? I don't know. Maybe that's reaching actually. Anyways, let's continue. I wanna finish this chapter. My child, be not a murmurer, since it leads the way to blasphemy. Yeah, this is something that I think a lot of people do. And they just don't even catch themselves doing it. It's just second nature to them, you know. Scream about Jesus Christ this and Jesus effing Christ and stuff like that. Like, God damn it. To anything that displeases them in that moment. I can see how that would lead to like greater blasphemies. Those are kind of like taking the Lord's name in vain already. So it's just the world that we live in right now. Be neither self-willed nor evil-minded, for out of all these blasphemies are engendered. I think being alive is a good like countermeasure to this. Like, you have to think of yourself as a living human being. I don't think a lot of people do that. I think they're very lost in their thoughts, and there's like scripts running in their heads, like this is how I'm supposed to behave, this is what I'm trying to accomplish right now, and then they like fast forward in life, go on autopilot. When you think of yourself as a living person, you're in the moment, present, that type of stuff. You're paying attention to details, observing, contributing. Rather be meek, since the meek shall inherit the earth. To be meek in today's world, you also have to be, I think, very wise, clever. Otherwise, you might be getting taken advantage of. But obviously, there's no sin in that. I need to look up the dictionary definition of meek, actually. Be long-suffering and pitiful and careless and gentle and good and always trembling at the words which you have heard. You shall not exalt yourself, nor give over confidence to your soul. You shall not exalt yourself. This makes sense. Christ said it really well. What good is it if I glorify myself? Nor give overconfidence to your soul. Your soul shall not be joined with lofty ones, but with just and lowly ones shall it have its intercourse. That's, I find, something that's actually more accessible, especially to me. Like, I have a easier time talking with people who don't have a special high opinion of themselves. I feel like those people are very guarded, and they're very cold and dismissive. But like maybe even like regular people, but obviously like homeless people and things like that. When I've been traveling, I've had conversations with people like that have not been, you know, high-performing lawyers, let's put it that way, a lot of the time. But there's like authentic conversation that can happen there. Not that I'm an expert in it. Accept whatever happens to you as good, knowing that apart from God, nothing comes to pass. This is a special thing. Accept whatever happens to you as good. It's finding, well, the world says it's about finding the silver lining. That's not the correct way to think about it. It's more like finding the heart. It's finding, I don't know, the maturity in it. Something that happens. Not just like a childish reaction where you're throwing a tantrum and things like that. It'd be interesting to talk about stuff like this with other people who have had some life experience. Anyways, that was chapter 3, Other Sins Forbidden. Chapter 4 is Various Precepts. I'm gonna read it in the next video. Thanks for watching this, guys. God bless. And cast no spells. And also, don't expect others to cast spells on you, you know, talk you up when it's not true.